Alright, I had to take this inside because we have such bad weather today to do the other figure for the Christmas scene. Alright. Now basically this figure will be pretty much the same as the other one, but it will have a hat on it. And we're going to I'm sorry, let me move this way just a little bit. So let's go ahead, come down here to the shoes. I always kind of work from the bottom a little bit. Get the shoes. Get a lot of this taken from here. A lot of people have written me and asked me about the explosion down here. And this was where that explosion in Texas took place. It probably took place about 2 miles, well, actually about 3 miles from my home. The name of the company was TPC, and it is a butadiene plant. Now, the butadiene plant was built in 1941. Actually, they built it in 1941 to make rubber tires for vehicles in World War II. And it was at that time it was called Natchez butane. And what blew up was butadiene. Now, I'm hearing more and more now what really happened, or what actually happened. A lot of you have asked what really happened, or what went on, because this was nationwide that this was brought about, the explosion of the butadiene plant. And the way I understood is the operator, and that's why I just can't, it's hard to believe there's no deaths. The operator went outside and there was a leak. We're going to separate the head just like we did with the last one. There was an operator, went outside, and there was a butadiene pipeline leak. And these chemicals are in pipelines. And for some reason there was a leak in this pipeline. I don't know why. We haven't determined that yet. And this plant used to be part of Huntsman that I have worked for. In fact, I've been over to that plant many, many times. I was a utilities operator. So I went over there many times and do the electrical stuff. We supplied all the electricity for that plant with our cogeneration units, and I was I was an operator of cogeneration. So this plant was a very old plant, but it made butadiene. And butadiene is what is used to make rubber. Okay? Well, anyway, they said that night, for some reason, there was a pipeline leak, and the operator ran out there, and he saw the leak, and he saw the situation. He began to run back, and it blew up at that time. And it blew him, it actually blew him off his feet and into a warehouse. So how he didn't get killed, it's a grace of God that this man did not get killed, and that no one was killed out there. The man was burnt, he was hurt, but he's not going to die. He may feel like he's going to die a couple of times. I've been burnt bad, I know. But I have heard word that they want to rebuild the plant. I don't know if that's true or not. I just know that this is a dangerous situation. Of course, I've worked in those plants for 40 years. I know the danger of them. I fought fires. I've been through explosions out there. We had an F2 unit blow up one time. It did not produce the fire that this did. And as you saw, the second explosion was on a tower. Now a tower is about 50 foot high or 100 foot high, and those towers have trays in them. And those trays, the product comes into those towers and then goes down those trays, in other words. So product was in that tower. When it blew up, it blew the top of the tower up off of the thing. So you see the danger there. I mean, this was a very volatile thing. The reason they evacuated all the people when they did is when the second explosion, see, all these plants are so close together with one another. After the second explosion, they were afraid that a piece of that plant would go over and hit another plant that was running, and then just have multiple explosions, which can happen. Yes, it very well can. So they evacuated people, and a lot of those people are going to be in the same boat I am, I'm afraid. The TPC is supposed to take care of it, and I hope the insurance company does. I'm praying for these people, but I know what insurance companies will do sometimes. Anyway, it looks like the plant itself, I don't really know what the future of it is, but the men who work there, there's probably about 200 men work there, probably are not going to have jobs for a while, or they're going to lay them off, because even if they rebuilt the plant, it would take a year or more. So we'll just wait and see what's going to happen at that time. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know. I've been in that plant. It's not a large plant, but it doesn't have to. A plant doesn't have to be large to blow up, and it doesn't have to be large to. It doesn't have to be large. It's whatever that plant is making. That's the most important thing. Okay. All right. So everybody is safe down here. We've had another call out for leaks, and stuff, but everybody is safe down here. My house did feel the explosion, as anybody else's did. It shook. I've looked, I don't see any damage, but I mean, my house is empty anyway, so nobody living there right now. So anyway, all right, we're going to go back to the piece. I'm sorry. A lot of people have really asked about this situation and have been concerned about it. And a lot of people ask, was that where you live down there? Yes, it is. I live practically, like I said, I probably live about 3 miles from the plant. Okay. Now we're going to put the hands in the pocket with this man here. We know, as people who have worked down here, the danger of these plants, and we know what can happen. We know that we could all be killed instantly. There are people that get on TV and they say, well, I don't understand this and I understand that. I've worked in these plants long enough. I understood the danger, always did. I didn't like being around that danger, but I was around it 40 years. And we tried to work as safe as we could. So these are not bad people, folks. These plants are not bad people. They're people who, they're companies who are trying to produce a product that is used. And so often they get a very bad rep. And listen, I knew a lot of people that worked out there, a lot of them. They were my union brothers. And they know. I'm going to let my my coat on this one come down even a little bit further. These are not bad people, son. They're not trying to kill you. That's not their purpose at all. We just made products and we made chemicals that are used to make cars, to make a lot of different things, medicines, all type of things. And butadiene was used to make tires for your car and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm not defending these plants. I'm not. But I'm telling you, a lot of people say, well, these plants need to leave and they need to get out and all that stuff. While I was driving through Kentucky last year to my sons, I went through a lot of small towns that were dependent upon coal. And those towns were ghost towns now. They had nothing. If a town doesn't have some type of industry or something to support it, it doesn't exist in a lot of these smaller places. And that's the way our town is. We're like that. So I'm just telling you, you know, they're not evil people, but they're doing what anybody else would do. We're going to put both hands in the pockets here. They're just making money too. So they're trying to make a living just like we are. And it has provided a tremendous amount of jobs down here. So what would we rather be? You know, would we rather risk the danger? And I worked in plants. I knew it was dangerous. I wasn't stupid. People coming out here in this area and going, well, I didn't know it was going to be this bad. You know, that's a lie. I'm sorry, folks. That's a lie. They know these plants are dangerous. They know the stuff in these plants are dangerous. A lot of them are just saying that because they want a lawsuit. And I understand, and if they want a lawsuit, that's fine. House was damaged, all that stuff. They're gonna, you know, they have every right to be. But don't sit there and tell me you don't know how dangerous it is. I had a man I talked to, his house was destroyed, not destroyed, but hurt. There was some damage to his house. But he told me himself, I knew that there was problems living around these places. So I'm just saying, people know, they're not stupid. If you live around these areas, you're susceptible to things that can happen. Just like the coal miners, just like anything else, you're susceptible to being hurt or explosions or stuff like that, because it can happen. So that's all I'm saying. I know what these plants are like. I've been in them all my life, or not all my life, but 40 years of my life. And I know how dangerous they can be. So I'm just saying. And you're not defending something just because you're telling the truth. All right. But I wanted to let everyone know that what really happened down here. And they're still investigating it. And so, okay. As I said, I'm putting the hands in the pocket here. I don't mean to get off on those stories when I'm carving, but those are stories that recently that people have really been concerned about. What happened down here. All right. I'm going to put a hat on this guy, in other words. And I'm going to have his hands in his pockets. All right. Now, what we want to do is just come up here and run a hat brim around the top up here, go around, and meet on the other side. Okay? I appreciate, and we're going to cut like I've taught you before, making a hat. I appreciate everybody's concern for asking around here, because it is a dangerous and volatile situation. And I tell you, it's a danger. We know that. We know that at all. But it's a danger getting out on the roads out there, so God's protected me for 40 years, and He may take my life for something else, so I don't know. We'll wait and see. Let me, I'm going to pause this right now. I've got a call coming, so I'm going to come right back with you.